With it being November, it was once again time to brave the Carolina Renaissance Festival. Before we had to leave, and we had to get up pretty early in order to leave at the right time, we stopped to take some pictures by the house, and then we set off.
If we get pulled over, this is going to be hilarious. Hello everybody, we're on our way to the Carolina Renaissance Fair, where we have Aragorn, William from Ranger's Apprentice, his costume looks fantastic, and then Jacqueline in the back, whose elf ears are very, very good, and we're all going to head out and have a super Renaissance party time. Should be the name of a song. Super Renaissance Party Time. So before we could actually head out to the Renaissance Fair, we had to stop at the gas station. But then Jonathan's in full costume and full Ranger's Apprentice garb, and he has to get inside and pay. So Jacqueline and I are both hoping that this somehow ends up on Tumblr. And there's rap music playing in the background, or there was a second ago.
Look, he's right there. That was hilarious. Another day at the gas station.
Nobody messes with the fellowship. Good morning, everybody. We're outside of a CVS pharmacy about a quarter of a mile away from the Renaissance Fair because Jonathan forgot to bring some money, which is truly a pity. So he's left off with his daggers while he runs into the pharmacy and he tries to get some money from an ATM. We're already 5 minutes late, so we've missed opening cannon fire. That's rather disappointing, isn't it? I like the cannon fire. It always makes everyone jump, and I always know to expect it, but you can tell who's new when they jump out of their boots.
Once we were actually in the fair, one of the first things that we saw was the words Bad Wolf scribbled into the dirt. And of course, surrounding the words Bad Wolf were a bunch of doctors. Obviously, in eager anticipation for the 50th anniversary, which had not yet come out.
Not to touch another Dr. Sonic.
Where would the doctors be without the TARDIS? Good thing that the TARDIS was there, along with some of the Doctor's dastardly foes. But the Doctor Who cosplayers were by far not the only people there on Time Traveler Weekend. There were superheroes. And as well as these superheroes, there was also, I love this one, a medieval Magneto, a useful skill to have. And as it was Time Traveler Weekend, there were a load of steampunks, from very fanciful one-piece costumes all the way up into whole families cosplaying together. That one little girl in the middle there, I believe, is a steampunk Indiana Jones. As well as these, there were a bunch of other costumes from more generic sources like Star Wars and Legend of Zelda. In fact, we even met some Lord of the Rings cosplayers. But see, the Renaissance Festival isn't all costumes, though that is usually why I go. There's also great things to do there, like grab a bite to eat, watch some comedy shows, there's loads of music. But the big attraction is almost always the Joust. This year, there were a pretty big joust, because the year we had gone before, there were only 2 people, but this time there were 3. Interestingly, they all had, like, Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff and Gryffindor colors. So, you know, me and Jacqueline, of course, go, the Ravenclaw Knight is going to chop off his head. We had a lot of fun with that. They did a few jousts, and for the first time ever, I saw a lance break during a joust. That was, like, really impressive and really cool with shattering sound. First time I'd actually seen that. Then they all dismounted for hand-to-hand combat, where this guy died. And then, just as all seems to be in peril after, a good bit of sword fighting, the damsel comes in, and then the damsel is quickly put into distress. Then she's killed. And then, of course, the Ravenclaw Knight has to exact vengeance on the Gryffindor Knight. Yep, that was fun. But there was an even better thing than the joust this year. We went on the one day of the Renaissance Festival that was reserved for a costume contest. The costume contest was fantastic. The amount of cosplayers there was staggering. One thing I didn't count on, though, was that you had to give a speech in character. I quickly whipped something up together that kind of went, there may be a day when this Renaissance fair has subpar costuming, but today is not that day, to which I was granted thunderous applause. That felt so good. Jonathan got up there and tried to explain what Ranger's Apprentice was about. Fortunately, a few people in the crowd come up after the actual contest and said, I love Ranger's Apprentice. So cool. Jacqueline actually did not participate in this because she was scared of writing a speech, when she could have just gone, I am Legolas, son of Theanduil, and I'm a pretty badass archer. She could have said that, but she didn't. Now, though Jonathan and I did not place at all, we did get some free candy, which was really nice. Then we made our way out, and on the way out, we saw even more cosplayers. We had a great time, and just as we're leaving, I found an Attack on Titan trio. That was, made my day, because I just barely introduced Jonathan to Attack on Titan. It was so much fun to actually see such an obscure fandom. Well, my sisters are watching a classic 4th Doctor episode of Doctor Who, so I'm going to leave you in a traffic jam. See you guys next week.
Hey guys, we're coming back from the Renaissance Fair, and then we hit this. Can't see, I'll zoom in so you can just get an idea of how far along this goes. This isn't even on the road. This is the road to get to the road.
I woke up this morning with your picture by my bed in the haze. I was drowning, just your words were flashing in my head. I don't